with Freddie. All right. So Freddie specializes in.
So he does the entire mealworm.
Okay.
Right. So you have the quail needs in approximately 24% protein in its diet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Yes, we can hear you, Freddie. You can go ahead. Hello, Freddie. Right. I think we seem to be having a bad connection there with Fred. We'll try again. All right. So you're still explaining.
So with the quail, you need to have 24% protein in its diet. So it fills up nicely, and with the calcium, the female starts laying her eggs. And that's what we're going to be testing out at 10 to 9 this morning.
You keep reminding me.
10 to 9 this morning.
Now you keep reminding me. So yeah, anyway, we're going to be testing that. Yes.
So on the farm, we're looking to actually up the mealworm game.
Yes.
And as our numbers of quail actually increase, we need to have a look at this very seriously. So at the end or middle of May, we should be touching on 24,000 quail on the farm.
Perfect.
So we're looking to launch the project formally, and we'll be discussing that with Mr. M later this morning.
Okay.
That's if you can actually manage
to finish
any meetings after 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay, you're scaring me now. But no, this is child's play. I mean, it's very small. So yeah, I just close my eyes and just Mr. M, TV side.
Hello.
Yes. No, we can hear Mr. M. Yeah. Good morning, Mati. You're saying good morning, people. Wildfire and Mr. M. Rest in peace, Mama. All right.
It's cracking. It's cracking.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can bring you back again.
Try 30 one more time. Excellent. Please hold on.
Okay. You put him on speaker.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay.
Freddie?
Yes, I'm there.
Excellent.
Okay. Perfect.
Freddie, talk to me.
Okay.
Mealworms.
Yes. Now, let me quickly just depart with some old habits of mine. Whenever I started as an entrepreneur, a business, the first thing I did was first study my input cost and make a thorough study of that to bring it down as low as possible, because then my profit are automatically increasing. It's logic. You understand?
Correct.
So the first thing I did was, when I looked at mealworms, was to say, can't I reduce the input cost to produce that protein? And you know what I did? I went to fruit and veg, and there was a dustbin full of, they were making fruit salad. And there was fruit free of charge, as much as I could take. I took it home and I got the system going where I, under control, could feed that and change it into protein. You understand?
Okay.
So now the cost of producing it was so low that I can't even think I can lower the cost of producing protein for chickens and quails, for instance. You know.
Okay. So where did
He's got a big business. He's making a living out of it, and he spends only half an hour a day in maintaining the whole system, which is awesome. I was so excited when I saw it, to show you what you can do over a number of years by just being, let's say, smart. You understand?
Yes. Okay, so he's making a proper living out of this.
You must see it. You can't believe it. He even got, I got a few of those superworms.
Yes.
He's got such a shortage of his market that he's got 3 people supplying him with worms to be able to cope, apart from his own farming activities.
My word. Okay, talk us through your process.
Well, the first thing that I realized is many people don't understand the whole process or life cycle of the mealworm. They think you buy a few worms, you put it in a container, and now it must start producing. But there's a life cycle. You understand?
Okay.
You are jumping into the middle if you got the worms. But from that, it must now become a pupae, and then it becomes a beetle. The beetle lays the eggs, and there the cycle starts all over again. So you must know how long it takes. How can I optimize the worms? I mean, if you're not optimizing it, it can take 18 months from becoming a worm till it changes to the next stage. But by controlling the temperature within limits, I developed the temperature controller. I'm an engineer. Whatever I need, I make it. I manufacture it. So I stabilize that variable, that is temperature. Then your feeding must be so that you don't supply too much of the scrap, let's say, vegetables, and make, let's say, where they start rotting. There's a few things. It's like anything. The more specialized you become, the more successful you are. You understand?
Yes, yes.
Because you can take that little kit of mine with 50 worms, and you can end up through the first cycle with 3,500 worms. If you take that 3,500 worms,
what's the period?
And it goes to the next cycle, you end up with 1.2 million worms. Understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so give me a time span.
Well, let's say...
And I hope Darren Newcomb is listening.
Yeah, with the worms, I try and do it very scientifically.
Okay.
And I log everything I do. I mean, I'm an academic. That's the way we do research. You don't guess or anything like that.
For sure.
And I found that when I got the worms, they were away. They're already changing state at the moment, and I've got them about let's say 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the longest period. Once you go to the pupa stage, that's about 2 weeks, and then after that it changes into the beetle, and then within 2 weeks it starts laying eggs. You know, so the longest period is caring for your worms. The better you do it with certain, let's say, professional approaches to it, the shorter the period. The more you neglect them, the longer it becomes. You understand?
Okay, so you're saying it's about 2 months, if I calculate correctly.
Yes, let's say 2.5 months. But in the meantime, the other processes, if you're in the cycle, is already on its way. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, talk us through the other cycle.
In other words, when some of the worms already change to the pupae, and that takes about let's say 8 to 14 days. Then it changes to the beetle, and the beetle takes about a week or two. Then it starts laying eggs. So while the one batch of worms are maturing and getting to the next stage, you must already have 2 or 3 other stages of pupae, and then the beetle, and the beetle starts laying eggs. That is already going there. And then it's like a continuous, it's like a factory. It comes in the one side, and then as the number of worms increase, then you start harvesting. You understand? I mean, if you've got 1.2 million worms, obviously you must now start feeding them to something. You understand?
True. Very true.
Yeah.
So talk us through your harvesting.
Talk us
through your harvesting process.
At a ridiculous 150 rand, I go and train the people. I've done a course already here last week. free of charge. Then I come and then I go through all the principles with them. I had a child here of 8 years old. He's already got business of 600 rand profit a month from family to produce eggs for some or other, I think lizards or something. So I took him step for step, and he was so clever. I mean, I couldn't believe that a child of 8 years old could grasp all those principles.
Okay, brilliant. I've got a question here from Darren Newcomb. Do you feed only rolled oats to mealworms? So jungle oats and stuff like that?
Yeah, look, if you go to the oats, now I look also where I can get it the cheapest. I go to the grain mills, and like bran from the oats is like a byproduct. So it's relatively cheap. Now that becomes like the bedding of the worms, but it's also the food. It's got two functions, right? And that should last the worm through its life cycle. Now, what you then do is you can't add any moisture at that stage. Then you really will end up a mess and everything will die. So the bran must stay completely dry, and then to give them water, you put it in the form of which is very popular at the moment and the least risk you're taking is a potato, a small piece of potato.
Hey, potatoes are expensive.
Carrots, and also a pumpkin.
Okay.
But now my brother-in-law, yeah, he likes mangoes, and I tried mango, the outer skin of it, and they eat it until there's only a thin flesh left that dries. You can't believe it. They almost like if it's a treat to give them to them, you know.
Wow.
But you must control it very carefully that you don't add too much moisture, because then you're going and your efficiency drops very low. So it's a question of take note of what you're doing, you know.
Okay.
And it makes it such a big pleasure. You're not just doing like a moving on. It's an intellectual challenge as well, and it's easy. There's no rocket science here.
Brilliant.
Interesting. I don't know, TV side, Mr. M, anything you want to find out from Freddie?
And any industrial, commercial scale production.
Do you want to know about getting into